Hey everybody, welcome to School of Scarlett. Oh, here's Sarah. Say hi to Sarah. This is my puppy. She's actually full grown now, and she does not care that her little collar is vibrating. She's getting old enough now that she's going past her boundaries. So we have like little areas that she can go to and can't go to. And actually she's not supposed to be back here, but she's here. Maybe that's a sign for someone that, you know, we're outgrowing our boundaries, right? Or whatever, invisible fences. So I've made videos about her before and how she gets away and all of that. So she's been getting a little bit better about staying on the property, but as you can see, she doesn't really listen to her collar. It kind of vibrates, and when she was younger, she would get kind of spooked by it, and it really would keep her where she needed to be. Anyhow, today's video is around just kind of my thoughts and reflections around different things. I want to share with you some reflections I've had recently. And just kind of have a little heart-to-heart with you. So as I was coming out here, my dogs kind of followed me out here, but over here there's a pond, and lately I've been doing a lot of walking. I usually exercise and walk around my property most days, but I had kind of stopped doing it for a little bit, and I'm getting back to doing a lot more exercising and outdoor projects now that the weather is actually really nice. But every time I walk by this pond, there is a turtle about this size, and it's usually around the other side, and it'll like sense me coming and it'll jump right into the water. And I hope to get a video of it one day, but I haven't been able to yet. As soon as it senses me, it jumps into the water. So that may be significant to someone. The turtle was actually in a little island, which is, you probably can't tell, but straight ahead from that little dock, there's like a little island, and the turtle was right on the island, and as I got close, it jumped straight into the water. Anyhow, so talking about reflections and some of the stuff that I've kind of been thinking about, there's just a lot been going on, and I was just kind of reflecting on the past and how it kind of feels like we're going through maybe a second, third, or maybe even fourth awakening for some of us. Comment down below if that resonates for you, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. I have so much more coming for you, and I have a wealth of videos and things online that you can check out as well. So I welcome you here to School of Scarlett. It's not just a channel, it's a community, and we really get together and we learn and we talk to each other and communicate in a lot of different ways. So join the community. I have my links in the description and in the comments down below where you can join. So just thinking about everything that has been going on, I was thinking about the very significant years in my life, and these years really didn't have anything to do with, you know, what you typically think, like the birth of a child or a marriage or something like that. No, for me it was more like of an awakening to awareness of different things. And so for me, the first awakening that I had was maybe around 2013, and a lot of times these really resonate with my viewers and with people that I talk to. It seems like we're kind of on these same kind of paths, give or take some years, but sometimes, and most of the times, it's the same exact years. That's how potent some of these years are. So in 2013, I went through quite a bit of health scares, and in all of that, I had what I consider my near-death experience, and I had made a video, maybe a couple videos about that here on my channel. You can just check that out. Maybe Google School of Scarlett near-death experience. But during that near-death experience, I really had that near-death experience of really experiencing everything as just pure unconditional love, and everything I thought was going to happen, the judgment, everything like that was not what I thought. It was just pure love. It was showing me everything that, you know, we do for each other in this life and how important that is to love one another. So if you're interested in that, check that out. But the point of that was just that really transitioned me. During that time, I had a lot of letting go. A lot of times these awakenings come with a lot of shedding, a lot of letting go, a lot more introspection. So what ended up happening through all of that was I had a divorce, and then I had a move, and it was a move across a bunch of states, and I had a new career, I had a new kind of life. So lots of things began to happen at that time as well. So that was around 2013, and it certainly wasn't easy to go through all of that, but it was an awakening process to more love, and there was that connection and that faith into the unknown. So a lot of times what happens during these times, that it's very difficult, it's very painful. It really shakes you up. But in all of that, there's a sort of faith of the unknown, of moving forward, of knowing that you're, you know, connected to everything. The divine spirit is with you at all times. So you definitely have the pain, but you don't have the fear of it so much as you would think. So you really have a lot of strength emerge. It seems like more is awakened. There's this kind of building of strength, and so each thing that we go through, it really strengthens us. We think that these things are meant to tear us down, that they're going to break us, that we're not going to survive. Sometimes we may even think that we're not going to live anymore, and that's how I felt around that time of 2013. Not only emotionally but physically, I felt as if, you know, I would not survive this. But I certainly did survive it, and it made me stronger, and that's how these situations are. And as I'm talking about this, certain words create certain images for me, and sometimes I've thought, oh, maybe that's autism or something like that. But what I'm seeing right now is gold. So for gold, it has to be melted down, and what I'm picturing is like melted gold, and it's very beautiful. So when we melt gold, it allows for the impurities and all of that needs to come out to rise to the surface, to leave, right? So that we have pure gold. And so that's what these processes are kind of like for us. It's really tough. It can be really hot. It can really burn us. It could even melt us. It can feel like we're in the fire. But essentially what's happening is that these impurities are coming up to the surface to be cleared. And that can be difficult at times to clear these impurities, right? So this doesn't just happen once or twice. My second awakening was around 2020, or around the time of everything that was going on with COVID and all of that. And I mentioned that in this channel as well, through my twin flame journey. I was in a twin flame journey that essentially ended in him dying, and well, through all of that, I discovered that I was my own twin flame, and I had what some people call a non-dual experience, or what you call the void. And so through that experience, all was really shown to me, and because of that, I experienced a lot of bliss, a lot of beauty, a lot less chatter. You know, I could really have like just a direct experience with what was, and a lot more clarity really to everything that was happening. And so that was a very beautiful time in my life, even though it was very hard with my twin flame dying. There was a lot of times I was definitely crying myself to sleep, and just so many different things that had happened. But through all of that, again, what happens is you get more strength, you get more deep into who you are. And so that deepening happened, the awareness came through, and so more and more was revealed. And I really thought that was the end of what is awakening, although I never claimed that on my channel or nothing like that. I always kind of left it open, because the unknown will really show you a lot of different things that you're maybe not ever going to perceive, or you can't predict it. It's just something that eventually happens. So I could tell that reality really was always changing and very unknown, and I could perceive that it was an infinite nature. So in infinity, anything and everything can happen. It's anything you can imagine, anything that has been, will be, could be. So that being said, I had the awareness that anything could happen in my life. So even though I felt like I had experienced everything I needed to know about this universe and what was really happening here, I knew that there was still going to be experiences in my life showing me different things. And that was certainly true, because even since then, I've had more and more awareness and openings and things like that. And so that has continued to happen. So I feel like a lot of us that are maybe on this channel right now, maybe some of y'all that are watching, are experiencing maybe your first, your second, your third, your fourth awakening. Comment down below what awakening you think you're on. This whole video really started with me walking, and it kind of got me thinking about making this video. Something popped into my mind's eye, like it usually does, and it's a keychain. And the keychain was a keychain that I sell with my daughter at her little boutique, and it's like a little Western keychain. It says, "This isn't my first rodeo." Well, we were at a show a couple weeks ago selling these different items, and this older woman came up to the booth, and she picked up the keychain and she said she loved it, and then she told me, nope, it's not my first rodeo, it's not my second or my third rodeo. And so that's how it feels like for me as well. It's not like there's one awakening to awareness and that's it. It's a more of a deepening and a more of a shedding process that continues to happen. So what I feel that's happening right now is that we're really deepening into these degrees of attachment that we've had. So what I've noticed about, let's say 2013, 2020, and maybe even now, is that these years were very significant to letting go of things. So letting go of relationships, letting go of addictions, letting go of attachments, letting go of ideas, letting go of beliefs. All of these things were really a process of letting go. Whereas before that, it was more about adding on to oneself. So prior to, let's say 2013, it was about becoming, adding things onto myself, you know, going to college, getting a degree, having a child, buying a house, like really adding on to oneself, learning new hobbies to add on, and really taking on new personas, the persona of the mother, a persona of this or that. And so, but with each awakening, it was more of a shedding. Even those personas of something so significant as a mother or a wife or whatever began to loosen up, and it was more of just being rather than becoming anything or labeling anything. Those shedding processes really went through. So what I'm feeling now is that we're going even deeper. So we often think that solutions are outside of ourselves, that we go to a guru, we go to a therapist, we go to the doctor to find out what's wrong with us, to fix something with us. But what I'm starting to see is that really this is kind of the era or the awakening of the solutions are actually within. We're going to have to go within and really meet ourselves in those attachments. Even if we feel that we didn't create those, for some reason we're attached to something, for some reason something happened or whatever, we have an attachment to whatever it is. It's time to go in there and meet it and feel it and really go through with clearing it by just feeling it. The more that we allow it to be there, the easier that it kind of goes or loosens up. So for me, like I said, a lot of those things that had cleared up were in the past were very clear to me that they had to go. And it wasn't really like a judgment on myself. They naturally began to clear as we awaken. So like those addictions and those attachments. But now with this awakening, what I'm experiencing is deeper and deeper attachments that were really, really unknown. So things that we wouldn't really think are addictions, but we really see that we're addicted to it, whether it's a certain person, a certain activity, something of that nature. But we have to go in deeper and deeper. And it seems like these things are ready to be cleared. They're not necessarily that they're bad, that they need to leave because they're bad, but we see that they're no longer serving us, or we see how they're actually hindering us from moving forward. So it's kind of a painful process still though, right? It's still painful, it's still tough, it's still hard to go through, to let go of these things or to feel these things come up and then us see them for what they truly are, when we thought that they were actually something good for us, and then suddenly we see the truth of it. So this awakening that we all are on right now is all about truth. It's about bringing truth to light and going into those areas, those shadows, and really being there and bringing light to it, feeling those shadows and really sitting with those shadows and seeing how maybe they served us at one time, but now they're transforming. They're showing themselves because they want to come to light, and allowing them to come to light so that they can be cleared. So there's no shame in seeking help, even though I mentioned that we were always seeking solutions outside of ourselves. This process of going into our shadows really can require us to go, let's say, seek therapy. Let's say go seek someone that has been through that before, because that is something that could be like a guide to us, a little bit of an opening, a little bit of a helpful nature to this, because it can be quite tough. And we're not actually all alone here. Yes, we are really essentially going to have to do the work ourselves, but we can help each other in this collective through this. So I do offer one-on-ones, and I can help throughout this process as well. I like to work with the shadows specifically. So if you need that, you desire that, that's coming through for you now, move forward with it. So moving forward with things is another kind of theme in this new awakening. It's no longer okay for us to sit back, to wait, to just allow things to somehow happen or land in our laps. We really have to go for it. If we feel it in our heart that we should do this, that we should meet with this person, that we should get this counseling, that we should begin journaling, that we should begin our exercise routine, whatever it happens to be, it's time to move forward with it, not to really, hinder it or procrastinate, because that's not very loving to ourselves. That's telling our heart that we don't trust the intuition, the messages, the nudges that it's telling us. And we really are on a path of following our heart, of being the most authentic that we can to ourselves, the most we can honor our inner selves, our inner child, our spirit, whatever you want to call it. That's what this process is about. It's honoring ourselves, honoring the truth, and allowing it to come up and to be. Moving forward without hesitation, without fears, really clearing these insecurities that we may have. We are oftentimes a little bit blinded to the insecurities we have. And what I'm finding is that in this second, third, or fourth awakening, our insecurities are going to come up to the top, just like they do for that gold that's being melted, where the impurities come to the top. They're going to be seen. And as they're being seen, we have to go to them. We have to see them for what they are, and really face that. And that can, like I say, be tough. It can be painful. It could be confusing, but allow it to happen. Everything that's happening is happening for you to be more aligned with your heart, for you to be more living in your truth. So that's what this message is about. If it found you well, if it resonated with you, give me a thumbs up, a heart, comment down below. I had written some notes here, and I'll just kind of see if there's anything maybe I missed here at the very end. But I don't really like to look at my notes too much when I talk, because I like to just have things flow through naturally. But let's see what I wrote down. If you want to hang around, I'll just share a little bit about what I wrote here. So I wrote down that this is a deepening or a deeper aspect of our fear. So what we're going through in this awakening, it seems like we're going deeper and deeper and deeper into any fears. So we may even feel fearless. But suddenly something comes up, and so the fears start to bubble up again, and we notice that we do have fears about something. And what they say about, on the other side of fear is everything that you ever wanted. There's really a truth to that. So when we encounter a fear, it's time to really go there, to really feel it. And that's, the shadow work. That's going towards those fears and seeing what's on the other side, because the fear is kind of like a barrier. It's kind of like what's blocking you from seeing your greatness, from seeing the other side of things. So, so the other thing I wrote is the new you is pure. It seems like there's like this purification that's coming. Everything that has kind of fallen away for me in like 2013, 2020, and now this year of 2024 has really been like a purification of the body, the mind, and the spirit. And everything that falls away, it seems like it's bringing myself and everybody else that I talk to back into wholeness. So anything that was unhealthy, it seems to not be able to stay any longer. It seems to be very uncomfortable to try to keep something going that is no longer healthy for us. And this isn't a judgment. It's not a shame. It's just naturally something that is happening. I also wrote down accelerated growth, because in 2013, I experienced what I experienced, and I experienced some growth there. But then in 2020, I experienced growth, and it was very quick. As opposed to 2013, it seemed like things were a lot slower. And now in 2024, it seems like every 2 weeks, there's like a new awakening, a new awareness to something, a new shedding of something that I didn't even know was there before. So there seems to be like this accelerated growth happening among the collective, not just within myself. So that's why I'm sharing this message. And I've also wrote down dreams. I used to not ever dream. I hardly ever had a dream. And if I had a dream, it was extremely mundane, like I'm just standing in a hallway. Well, lately, as things have become accelerated, I've noticed that I'm dreaming almost daily. And my dreams are very interesting. So I haven't started having a dream journal, but I'm about to start. What I usually do is if I wake up from a dream, I really try to analyze it. How was I feeling in that dream? What happened in that dream? What does that dream mean at an intuitive level? Like intuitively ask yourself, what was this dream about? And it really gives insight to a lot of things that are actually happening here in the physical. So pay attention to your dreams. So I just wrote down that growth rarely happens in comfort. Because this process isn't going to be comfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to see those parts of yourself that you've been hiding, those parts of yourself that you have been keeping away from your consciousness. You've been keeping it in the unconscious. So what's happening really is that your unconsciousness, the unconscious is becoming conscious. That's what this whole process of awakening is the unconscious becoming conscious to, you're becoming conscious to all, essentially. So if you're becoming conscious to all, you're going to have to face a lot of these things that you've been hiding from. And it's going to be uncomfortable, but you have to realize that growth rarely happens in comfort. So this whole process of you being uncomfortable is really just growing you. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you're getting stronger and stronger and seeing more and more aspects of yourself that you hadn't seen before. And in doing so, it really builds up your resilience, and it really shines who you are. It really allows you to shed those pieces and things of you that you were, either masking or hiding, for you to actually be seen, for the light of who you are to finally come through. And the last thing that I wrote is faith when your path seems uncertain. Have self-love. I'm not sure really what I meant by that, but it really is that the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen, what's going to pop up next. And it can be scary, and it can be like all in your face. And so just have faith. That's what's happening. What's coming up for you is meant to come up for you. It's meant to be coming to light. And in the process, have self-love. This whole process that we are going through is all about self-love, of loving ourselves, of really coming into alignment with our truth of who we truly are, allowing our true selves, our authentic selves to shine, to come out, to live freely in freedom. And so that's what this process is about. It's actually very, very good, but it is painful to have to see some of these things that we have been hiding from our own selves. But allow them to be seen, allow them to clear, and allow your authentic self to shine through. So I love you all. If you're new here, I hope that you'll subscribe. I hope that you'll come back. And so thank you so much for watching. I will catch you on the next message. I love you all.